Alright, so we're just going to go over a few problems from this practice test from chapter 4. That's page, 313 in the book? Alright. And this is numbers, 4 through 7. So 4 to 7. So we're basically finding the missing angles, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4 is what we're going to do here. So, let's see. Let's do this in a different color. What do you think the very easiest? We don't have to start for angle 1. I mean, what do you think the easiest one to find is? Angle 4. Definitely angle 4. Why? What's the relationship between them? They're vertical angles, right? They're vertical angles. And what's true about vertical angles? They're equal to each other. So right now, I can say that angle 4 is equal to what? 125 degrees without doing any math at all. Pretty good so far, right? All right, let's do, what's the next easiest one probably? Let's stay in this general area. Yeah, angle 1, because look at angle 1 and look at this 125. Makes a 180 degree angle. Don't say that anymore. So it makes a 180 degree angle. So how do I find what angle 1 is? Yeah, just go 180 minus 125, and that's what's 55? Yeah, so angle 1, we'll put it right up here. Angle 1 is 55 degrees. All right, that's good. I tell you what, let's fill it in here. Let's get rid of all this marking. And so this is 55 degrees. We may need that to find something else. Oh yeah, I think we do. So we already got angle 4, didn't we? So let's write that in there as well. Let's make it yellow. And this is 125. Alright, so let's find angle 3. Now if you take a look at angle 3, you can do a couple things. Right? Most of you guys probably looked at this triangle and said, oh, they add up to 180, right? So it's 180 minus 62 minus 55. You could do it that way. Or there's another way you could do it. Just one simple arithmetic. What do you think? Exactly. 125 minus 62. How do we get that? Because this is a external, or a exterior, I think we call it, right? An exterior angle. And what do we call these two angles over here? They're the two that are furthest away from this exterior. Remote interior angles, right? So these two add up to be 125. So if this 62 degrees and this angle right here add up to be 125, how do we figure out what's left over? That's right. It's like going to the store and you got $125 in your pocket, right? You want to buy something for $62, right? So how do you figure out how much is left over? You just subtract. It's the same exact thing, isn't it? So it's 125 minus 62. That's probably the easier way to do it as far as the least amount of arithmetic that you have to do. And that's what? 3 and that's 6, so that's 63 degrees. So that angle right there is 63 degrees. Alright, we good so far? And we have one more angle to find. Let's write that in here. That was angle 3, right? 63 degrees. Now let's find angle 2. Alright, let's do angle 2. You could do this, I guess, a couple ways, couldn't you? What do you want to do? You want to do that external angle? I keep saying external today. I don't know. That exterior angle thing? Okay, you've got a triangle right here, right? We extended... Actually, this is really not an exterior angle, is it? Yeah, that's not really an exterior angle. This is 55. So this is an exterior angle to this, isn't it? Or is it? Yeah, if I take this triangle, extend one of the sides. So that's an exterior angle. So what does this and this do? They add up to be 55, so we could just go what? 55 minus 32. That might be the easiest way, but some of you guys might not see that exterior angle thing. And it's okay if you don't, really. You can still figure it out. So what could you have done to figure out this angle besides 55 minus 32? Yeah, you could have taken these two away from 180, right? So you could have gone 125 plus 32 is 157, and take 157 away from 180, and that's what? 23. Or you could have done it this way and done 23. So you would have had to do this much work if you didn't see that exterior angle, or you could have done this much work if you would have recognized that exterior angle. Okay? So it's one step less. All right, it's really not that big of a deal, but sometimes, you know, it shortens the amount of stuff that you have to do. But some people have a hard time seeing that exterior angle. That could be a problem as well. All right? And so that is 23 degrees. And then you've got it. You've got all four of them. Make sense? All right. This chapter gives you a lot of that kind of stuff, don't they? They give you a couple angles. You got to find all these missing angles. You got to add them up, take them away from 180, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there we go. All right, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, let's do the next one. Okay, I've got two triangles here. Now, if this is all they told you, you might be able to guess and figure out what to do with x and y, but you wouldn't be 100% sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down what they tell us. They tell us that these two triangles are congruent, and they name the two triangles. That's really, really important. To tell you the truth, on this problem right here, they kind of made this so that there's really not much of a choice to know what to set equal. Okay, but sometimes you really don't know what you're setting equal to each other. So if we take a look at this x right here, this x plus 21. It's part of side RT, isn't it? Everybody see that? RT. So if you come over here, now there's only one side that they give you anyway, so there's not too many choices to pick. But what if they gave you all three sides? And you wouldn't know really which one should you pick. You don't know if it was this one or if it was this one. Would you agree? Probably obviously not equal to this one right here, but it could be equal to either one of these. So what do? If this is RT, what does RT equal on this triangle over here? What? XZ. All right. Now again, this one they made it really easy because they didn't give you much of a choice. But you can rest assured that RT and XZ do equal each other. So this side and this side have to be equal. How do we know that? Because we looked at this congruence statement and we saw R first and T last, X is first and Z is last. So those are the ones that go together. So what must be true about X plus 21 and 2X minus 14? They got to be equal to each other. So let's do that real quick. So 2X minus 14 equals X plus 21. So we subtract an X from both sides and we add a 14 to both sides. We've done this math all year long now, haven't we? 2X minus X is X. That cancels out. That cancels out. And that's what? 35? All right, so X is 35. Just like that. Is that the answer I told you? Good. It's always nice to get the same answer. What about this angle right here, angle R? Look at angle R. Now, again, they don't give you much choice on this problem. They made it really easy for you because they only give you one angle, right? So they must equal each other. But what if they gave you all three angles and you weren't sure which one it equaled? How do you know angle R doesn't equal angle Y up here? You know, so you look up here. Look at angle R is equal to what angle over here? Angle X. So here's angle R, here's angle X, so they have to equal each other. Does that make sense? Now again, like I said, this problem, they didn't give you many choices. They only gave you one choice to set equal to each other. So everybody should be able to get this. All right? You just set the x's equal to each other, set the y's to equal each other, and you're good to go. All right? So 4y minus 10 equals 3y plus 5. Subtract a 3y from both sides, you get a y. Add a 10 to both sides, you get 15, and there's your answer. Make sense? Yeah, 35 and 15. All right, let's do that proof. Let's draw it out first. All right, here's our picture. Now, like I said earlier, this proof right here is a little bit more difficult than what you're going to see on the test. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of easier proof on the test, but I think it's good to expand our mind a little bit, think a little bit on this. So, first thing, what are we going to do? We're going to take the given, and then we're going to do what to our picture? Yeah, mark it up, okay? Mark up the picture. So xy is parallel. Doesn't say it's equal, does it? It says it's parallel. So this is a little different than we've done before. So xy, right there, is parallel to wz. Remember we put the arrows for parallel? What else do they tell us? That xw, that this one right here, is parallel to yz, this one over here on the right. So I mark those. I put two arrows on those because the ones with two arrows are parallel to each other, and the ones with just one arrow are parallel to each other. Everybody good with that? Mm-hmm. Now, what in the world does that have to do with anything as far as knowing if any of the sides are equal or the angles are equal or anything like that? What do you think? Do you remember this? Remember this stuff? Parallel lines, cut by transversal. Remember that? Like angle 1, angle 2. If these are parallel, what's true about angle 1 and angle 2 then? They're equal, right? Remember that thing? All right, so let's look up here. Look at the one line, the xy and the wz, the top and the bottom one. If this is parallel, this is a transversal, isn't it? If this is a transversal, what does that tell us? That tells us that angle 2 is equal to angle 4. Am I right? Okay. Now, what about What about these two lines right here? These two lines being parallel. You got these two lines parallel. This is a transversal as well, right? So angle 1 has to equal angle 3. Why? Because they're alternate interior angles. Okay, if you had to give a reason. So really, it wasn't that much harder than what we did on the midterm, is it? You had to figure out, though, that those angles were equal to each other by the parallel line. So that was a little trickier. What did they do in the midterm? They just basically told you that those angles were equal, right? You just had to mark the angles equal. This was a little trickier. Now, there's one more thing that we can figure out by just looking at the picture. Okay, you could go third angle, but the third angle is really not going to help you prove the triangle's congruent, though. But you absolutely could. You could say that this angle here is equal to this angle here because of the third angle theorem. And that would be okay. It wouldn't be wrong to put that in there. But that's not really going to help you prove the triangle's congruent, because we don't have an angle theorem, do we, for proving triangles congruent. There's one other thing that's shared by both of these triangles right here. What is it? What line? Yeah, give me the letters. W and Y. That's not, we don't even have a line that attaches them. What are the two letters of the line that's going through the middle? X and Z, right. Okay, X and Z. It's this one right here. Everybody see that? This line is a part of this triangle, and it's also part of this triangle. Do you remember what we do when we have that situation? Put a little what? Put a little tick mark here. Do you remember what the reason is? I'm not asking for the reason on the test, but the reason would be reflexive property. Exactly right. Okay. Now, look what we have. Look at this triangle right here. This is XWZ. XWZ. See this triangle over here on the left? Is this triangle now congruent to this triangle over here on the right? And tell me why. That's right. We got an angle right there, don't we? We've got a side, and we've got an angle. Would you agree? Look over here. We got the same angle, the same side, and the same angle. You get it? So these two triangles are congruent. Why? Because of angle, side, angle. And that would be your proof. That's all you have to do. Now again, on an honors class, I'd make them write out all the steps, give reasons, and all this kind of stuff. But all you have to do is just mark the picture, and you don't need to mark these things right here. But everything basically that I have in blue, yep, everything that I have in blue here, that's what you would need for the proof. That's all you need. Just mark the picture. You've got to mark it properly, okay? But you mark the picture, and then you tell me why the triangles are congruent. We got it? So that was a little bit tougher, wasn't it? Just a little bit tougher than what I've given you before. Not a whole lot. Not really. It was just they gave you parallel lines, and you had to figure out that these angles were equal to each other. That was the part that was a little different than what we've done in the past and what you had on the midterm. All right? Does that make any sense? Any better? Okay. Did anybody actually figure that out on their own when they did it last night? Did anybody? Did you? You didn't do it? No? What bothered you? The parallel line thing? You weren't sure what it did? What's that? The theorem itself? Oh, the line in the middle? You didn't think about that? Okay. All right. No more questions on that? Okay. When do we get out of here? Wednesday 20. Okay. Let's see. You gonna do number 11 or 18 and 19? Let's do 18 and 19. Okay. They're all pretty much the same, though, right? I mean, they're kind of asking the same thing. So this looks like this. Kind of looks like that. And that looks like that. And we got another one that comes in here like about like that. Those two are equal, right? So let's scooch this down just a little bit more. Oops. There we go. That's a little better. Not perfect, but that's okay. We got 24 degrees right here. This is angle 4. This is angle 3. This is 66 degrees right here. Oops. This is angle 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And they mark a couple things, right? That this side is equal to this side. And that's all they tell you, isn't it? Now, this question just says find angle 1 and 2. Let's find all 4 of them. Is that all right? If we can. We'll see if we can. So, where in the world do we start? Angle 166, how'd you get that? Yeah, exactly right. Take a look. I've got an isosceles triangle, don't I? I've got 2 equal sides. Everybody watching? I've got 2 equal sides right here. So if I have 2 equal sides, what's true about the opposite angles? They're equal. So that angle right there must equal that angle right there. So I've got angle 1. I've got angle 1 without doing any math at all. Any arithmetic. Everybody with me? Okay, so that's 66 degrees. We'll just write over top of it. Alright, what else do you think we can find? Yeah, we could do angle 3. There's something else that's a little bit easier, though. Yeah, angle 4. What's angle 4 to this triangle? It's an exterior angle. Everybody see that? So angle 4 right here is an exterior angle with these two as remote interior angles. So how do I find angle 4 with one basic arithmetic? So I just go 66 plus 66, right? And that's what? 12 and 132. Is that right? Yep, so that right there, go back to purple, is 132. We good? Now, again, in one step, I can find angle 3. So, yeah, we did that already today, didn't we? That's a straight line. So how can we find what's missing? It's 180 minus 132. And that's what? 48? And so let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that and call this 48. Now, I know it only asks to find angle 1 and 2, but just for fun, we're finding all of them, okay? Now, let's do this. Let's find angle 2. You could do it a couple ways. You could add these up, take them away from 180, or one simple math problem, what can you do? Exterior angle again. You getting used to this now and looking for it? Okay, you've got an exterior angle, and these are your 2 remote interior angles right here. So remember, these 2 add up to be 48. So how do you find what's missing? Just take this away from 48, right? This is not the first time, even today, that we've done this. And so what's that? 24, and this is 24 degrees as well. Watch this. If this is 24 and this is 24, tell me something about the length of this side from here to here. Yeah, it has to be equal to this, doesn't it? Now, they don't ask you that, but it's just good fun to figure that out, isn't it? It is fun. Yep. So there we go. What kind of angle is this angle right here? It is a right angle. Why? Because it's 66 plus 24, isn't it? That's a 10, that's an 8, and a 9, so that is a right angle, isn't it? Not just because it looked like it. We can't just go by what it looks like. We have to go by the numbers. Well, I sure hope that the ones that are having their head down and sleeping, I hope you do well tomorrow, because I'm showing you a lot of stuff that you could possibly see on the test. So don't whine to me and cry to me about not knowing how to do stuff, because if you can't stay awake in my class and pay attention, then that's your problem. Sorry to be so harsh, but that's the truth of it, all right? So what are we doing tomorrow? We're taking a test on Chapter 4. I'll let you hang on to that practice test. Now listen to me. Everybody listening to me? Don't throw it away. Don't leave it in your locker. Don't put it in your book and leave it somewhere. Okay, bring it in tomorrow. I am collecting the practice test that we just went over tomorrow. I'm letting you hang on to it to study from, okay? But I am collecting it tomorrow. So don't throw it away. Have it ready for me tomorrow.